Hi folks, this is Karim Raouf from IT Visualizer channel. They will continue our lab, the Red Alert Lab. This is the video number 74. We have been discussing in the previous video the following. We have been working for 8 videos on creating Windows 11 master image with all of the tips and tricks and tweaks to enhance the performance of Windows 11 and to customize the performance and to customize the interface of Windows 11. So we have been working for 8 videos on installing Windows 11, enhancing Windows 11 performance, customizing the Windows 11 interface, and the previous video we have created an image. Okay, we said there is 2 methods to create an image. The first method is to use or to access the Windows in the safe mode with command prompt and use the dism command to create an image of the Windows 11 and then insert this image in a Windows 11 original DVD or original ISO image. Okay, we have said this in the previous video. Please refer to it and see how this is done. The second method is to use third-party programs such as Acronis or Norton Ghost. So we will see in this video how we can create an image of Windows 11 using the Acronis bootable CD. So we will have the Acronis program and then we will create a bootable version of Acronis on a CD from within the program. So you need to install Acronis on an PC and then use the option of creating a bootable CD through the program and then get this CD and boot with it on your Windows 11 on the PC that contains Windows 11 to take an image. Let's see how we can do this, and then we will talk about another topic to customize Windows 11. We have said before that we can customize Windows 11 using different methods. First of all, you need to install the Windows 11 and then use something called tweakers to tweak the Windows 11 or change the Windows 11 or customize Windows 11. This is a method, and another method is to take the ISO image or the original DVD or original ISO image of Windows 11 and use a program to tweak this DVD or this ISO before installation. So there is a method to tweak the Windows after installation, and there is a method to customize the Windows before installation. Okay, so we will see how we can customize Windows 11 before installation of the Windows itself through something called MSMG toolkit. We have discussed this before in previous videos. We will use this tool to customize Windows ISO image or original Windows 11 ISO image before installation. Let's see how first we can how we can take an image of Windows 11 by using Acronis. So now I have an Acronis something called Acronis cyber program DVD or CD. So this is the DVD. I need to insert the DVD of Acronis, something called Acronis Cyber Protect. So this is a bootable CD of the program called Acronis Cyber Protect. This is a program that you can use to take an image of any Windows operating system. So this is the bootable CD. I will insert it, and then we need to boot with it to take an image of Windows 11. So now we need to power on the virtual machine. And then we need to boot from the CD. You can from a physical machine press F12 for boot options and boot from CD, or change the boot order in the BIOS to boot from the CD. But here we will do this using another method. We will go to the boot options or advanced boot options and then choose change defaults or choose others options, and then tell him choose other options, and then tell him to use a device to boot from a device, and then we will use the virtual CD-ROM or our CD-ROM. Okay, now we will boot from the Acronis Cyber Home DVD, and then we will be prompted to choose one of the options. First of all, he have restarted the machine, and then he have give you an option to choose from. So we need to use the first option, number one, to use the Acronis Cyber Protect Home bootable program from our bootable CD. Okay, we will use this. We will not use Acronis System Report. Continue booting. This will continue booting to the Windows 11 operating system. So we need to go to the Acronis Cyber Protect Home program. So now we will press 1 and then press enter. Okay, now it will begin loading the Acronis Cyber Protect Home from the DVD itself. So now we will see it will get us an interface, okay, of the Acronis. So here, this is the Acronis interface. Here, tell him to back up my disk, and this is the recover. So we can back up from this option and we can recover from this option. Tell him to back up my disk. Okay, so we need to tell him to back up my disk. This is the first thing. We need to tell him to back up my disk, and then this is our hard disk, and we have, as we know, we have C and D partition, and we have other additional partitions that are hidden, okay, and not given letters. So there is two partitions. One is given letter C and the other is given letter D. The C partition, this is for the operating system, and the D partition is for my partition that I store my files on, maybe Word, Excel files, or any other files. And we have two partitions, some called Efi System Partition and Recovery Partition. Efi System Partition, this is a partition that is hidden. You cannot see it through the Windows. And this partition contains important boot files. Without it, you will not be able to boot and access the Windows 11 operating system. So if this partition is deleted, you will not be able to access your Windows 11. So this partition contains important files to boot the Windows, okay? To boot the Windows. So if you don't have this partition, you will not be able to boot the Windows and access the Windows. So this is a very important partition. And we have another partition called recovery partitions. This is a customizable partition. You can insert in it, for example, an image. And if your Windows 11 is corrupted or is not working, you can recover the system from an image within this partition. Anyway, so we will tell him we need to, if you are taking an image, we should concentrate on the C partition and EFI system boot partition and the recovery partition. We'll take copy of, or we will take an image of these three important partitions. Okay, and then if we need to recover, we can recover the three, or we can recover only two, the EFI system partition and the C partition. Okay, because this is very important to take a copy of, because this contains the boot files that will boot to the Windows. Okay, so this is a good thing to take an image of this partition. Anyway, so we will take image of these three partitions. Here he will tell us where we need to archive location, or where we need to take an image. The image will be put in which partition. Okay, we will take put it in the D partition, okay, because we cannot take an image of C partition and put it on the C itself. Okay, you need to put it on another partition. So we will take the three partitions and then we will put the image on the D partition in a folder we have created before called Windows 11 custom partition, or custom folder, I mean. So now we go to the archive location, tell him backup location, and then we need to go to the D partition, and then we need to save the image to the Windows 11 custom folder. Okay, and then there is a couple of options we need to specify when we are taking an image. If this image is a full backup image or an incremental backup image. Okay, incremental means here that it will take only the changes that it is done was done to the system and take a backup of the changes on the system, not a full backup of the system. So full backup means it will take a full backup of the operating system. Incremental, it means it will take only the changes, or take a backup or image of the changes made to the operating system. Okay, so here we will take a full backup. So this is the name of the image, Windows 11 backup. Its extension is TIBX or TIB, and then we need to tell him the backup method. So here, finish. These are the things, or these are the partitions that we will take image of. Then we need to tell him backup method. Here we need to take, okay, a full backup. Okay, incremental backups only the changes that you have occurred since the last backup. So for example, if I have taken a full backup of the machine, okay, and I need to take another backup and I choose incremental, it will take only backup of the changes since I take a full backup. Okay, so for example, if I have taken a full backup and then I have added something to the system or removed something from the system, it will only take backup of the change to the system, not all of the system. Okay, so if I need to restore, I need to restore both the incremental backup and the full backup. Okay, so anyway, we will take a full backup. A differential, this is we will not concentrate on. We will take a full backup of the operating system. Okay, and what to exclude? If you need to exclude something from the backup, we will not exclude anything. Backup options, here we will see that there is something in the archive protection. If you need to put a password on the image, if you need to restore the image, he will ask you about a password to restore the image. Compression level, if you need to compress it, okay, you can compress it. We need only to concentrate on these two options. I do not need to see the other things. Okay, we only concentrate on the first two options. So we'll tell him compression level normal. You can tell him maximum, it will be 15 gigabytes, so you can use the maximum compression level or leave it normal. Anyway, I will leave it normal. If you need to compress the image, you can use the maximum compression level. Anyway, so this is it. You can give or put comments on the image, so when you restore it another time, you will see the comments about the image. Anyway, so we tell him to proceed on taking image of these three partitions. So proceed, and then after taking the image, you can tell him to restart the computer or to shut down the computer. Anyway, to tell him to restart the computer, this is the thing we need to concentrate on. And then in a separate video, we will restore this image. Okay, we will restore it using the same program, Acronis, and we will restore our Windows image taken by the dism command. We will see how this is done. Anyway, the backup is finished, and now we have booted to the Windows 11 operating system. Now we need to see how much size the image is. Okay, I think it will be, I think maybe 10 gigabyte or something. Let's see the size of the image. So here we will open the folder, and then open the departition, and then see Windows 11 custom, and this is the backup file. It's 10 gigabyte. So we have an image, an image that is 9 gigabyte and 10 gigabyte. One was taken by the dism command, and the other is taken by the Acronis program. Anyway, so I need to take a copy of these two images and put it on my laptop, okay, on my physical machine. Okay, so now we have these two images, and this is how we can take an image using the Acronis. Okay, now we will move to the topic of customizing Windows 11 before installation. How this is done: you have or you download the Windows 11 DVD or ISO image from the website of Microsoft, and then use the MSMG toolkit to customize this ISO image downloaded from Microsoft. We will shut down the machine, and then we will use our MSMG toolkit tool to customize the original Windows 11 DVD or ISO image downloaded from the Microsoft website. Anyway, so this is the program. We'll go to the departition, and then I have the program downloaded in a folder, and it is zipped, so we need to unzip it and then work with it. So it was here in take care, because I have downloaded the program in a folder called important CD images. Take care that the folder, there is spaces between the name of the folder, so take care, because this will make a problem when we use the toolkit or we use the MSMG toolkit. Take care, because this is very important. Anyway, so this is the program of MSMG. It is a tool used to customize original Windows 11 DVDs or ISO images. Okay, so now we will unzip the tool and then use it, and we see how we can through using this tool to customize the Windows 11 ISO image. We can remove components or Windows components from the ISO image, something like the Windows Store, the Cortana, the age, a lot of things we can remove from the ISO image. Okay, and after removing it, you can use the DVD and install it, and all of the things that you previously removed will not be appearing after the finishing of the installation of the Windows. Anyway, so we will try and see or to use the program to customize the Windows 11 ISO image. So this is the toolkit or toolkit of MSMG. We will unzip it and then use it, and simply we need to have also a Windows 11 DVD. Remember that we have made already a customizable Windows 11 ISO by using the dism command in the previous video. So we'll take this customizable DVD and tweak it. Okay, so we are tweaking a previously tweaked system. Okay, so now we will go here, take care. This is the program. There is a lot of folders. So what we will do, we need to have a Windows 11 ISO image. We will copy it and put it in the folder called ISO. Okay, so the program will go and search the ISO folder and see that it contains a Windows 11 ISO image, and then it will try to extract or unzip the components of this ISO, or it will literally unzip the components of the ISO, or it will it is something like unzipping the components of the ISO image, and then the program will unzip the components of the ISO image and put it in the DVD folder. And then after that, the program will use the components that are unpacked from the ISO image and put in the DVD image. He will use this folder to play with the components of the image. So this folder will contain the ISO image of Windows 11. It will be unpacked and unzipped, and it will be put in the DVD folder, and then the program will go to the DVD folder and play with the components of the DVD or the components of the ISO image. And after finishing, we will unpack it again, or we'll return it back to be an ISO image. We will see that all of these things will be seen in the video, so don't worry. Now we need to go and copy or take the folder and put here in it. We will put an ISO or Windows 11 ISO image. We will go and put our customizable Windows 11 ISO image that we have previously done in the previous video using the dism command. So here, this is our customizable Windows 11, the one that we have put all of the tweaks or tips and tricks in it, and we have exported to an ISO image. So now we will put it in the ISO folder and then tell him paste, and then the program will feel that there is an ISO image in the folder of ISO. So he will tell you we need to first provide an ISO so the program can play with it, and then he need to unpack this ISO image and put it in the DVD folder. First we will click on start.cmd. So now this is the interface of the program. Let's wait for a moment. You need to be an administrator to run this program. Anyway, so let's see. Here you need to tell him to, this is a tool, he is just introducing the tool. It is basically a tool to service, customize, add or remove feature or components, enable or disable features to Windows operating system. Okay, this is intended to use with licensed Microsoft Windows operating system only. Okay, and this is a third part, and this is open source, so you need to accept. This is the license agreement, so we will accept the license agreement, press A and then press enter, and then we will have a couple of options appearing in front of us. So here we will see that he is analyzing my operating system. He's saying that I have the operating system on my laptop, it is Windows 10 Enterprise, and then he is listing all of the commands used within this program. We need to press any key to continue. Okay, we'll press any key to continue, and then we have a couple of options here. First, we need to choose option number 1. Press 1 and enter to choose the source ISO image that we will play with, okay, or the program will play with. So first we need to choose option number 1, okay, and then we need to tell him select, or we need to not to select, okay, we need to extract source from DVD ISO image. So this option number 3 will go to the ISO folder and extract the components of the ISO image and put it in the DVD folder. So why are doing this? So we can play with the components of the ISO image. We cannot play with the components of the ISO image where it is still .iso extension. We need to extract the components of the ISO image and put it in a folder. So first we need to tell him to extract source from DVD ISO image. So this will go to the ISO image and it will see our Windows 11 ISO image. It will extract the components of this ISO image and put it in a DVD folder. The next option, we tell him to select source from DVD folder so he can play with the ISO image. Okay, anyway, so we'll tell him number 3 and press enter. Take care, there is an error that will appear, and take care of this, and I'll tell you why. Then here we tell us where is the ISO image. Okay, what is the ISO image? The name of the ISO image. So here we will go to the folder and tell him this is the ISO image. We need to extract the component of it. Okay, so we tell him this is the ISO image name, and then we will paste it here and press enter, and then he will begin extracting DVD ISO components and put it in the source DVD folder. It will put it in the DVD folder, the folder above ISO. Okay, so now it is extracting the components and it is already finished. So tell him press enter. Okay, and then we need to tell him again number 1, press and press enter, and then select source from DVD folder, press number 1. Okay, and then again, sorry, we'll press number 1 and then continue. This is not correct. We tell him number 1 and then another number 1 to select the extracted ISO image from the DVD folder. Here we can see that there is a problem here. Here he can't see any extracted, or he cannot see the extracted ISO image in the DVD folder. Why is this? Because he cannot recognize the name of the folder that contains the extracted ISO image. Remember that I have put the program in a folder called important CD images, or important space CD space images. So this is not good because the program will not recognize spaces between the spaces in the folder name. You need to have your folder name that contains the program. It should be without spaces. So here, this is the error. He will not recognize, or he cannot see the DVD folder of the program because the main folder that contains the program have spaces in it. So let me show you also. For example, if you go there, this is this PC, and then we go to the folder and then important CD images. Here I was having the program of toolkit here. Okay, so, and the toolkit, okay, this is zipped, and if you unzip it, it contains the folder DVD within it. So he cannot see the DVD folder within this folder because the main folder, there is spaces between the name of the folder. Okay, so we need to don't have spaces between the name of the folder. So let's see how we will solve this problem. I will move the program to another folder without any spaces. Okay, so we will tell him to quit first. We will quit, and then we will copy, or I will cut the program itself and put it in another folder. So tell him quit. Okay, so tell him Q and then press enter. So tell him Q, and then we will go back, press X and go back. Okay, And then what I'll do here, I will go and copy the program. So go to the D data and then go to the important CD images. I will move the folder of toolkit. Remember, the folder of toolkit contains the DVD folder. Here we can see that it contains the ISO, and it will contain the extracted components or contents of the ISO image in the DVD folder. We will copy the whole toolkit folder and put it or change it from the main folder important CD images to another folder that have its name without spaces. Let me show you all what I mean. So we will go and then cut the program. Here I will cut it, press it and cut, and then I will put it in another program on another folder called important CD images without spaces, and let's see if this error will continue. So the error appeared because our main folder that contains the folder of the program, there is spaces in it. So let's press start and then try to see if we try to select the source DVD image or the source DVD, if it will give us an error or not. So here we tell him accept A and press enter, and then press any key to continue, and then we tell him the source, and then tell him number 1. Let's see what will happen. If you tell him number 1 and press enter, here the operation will complete, or there is no errors will appear, because here what we have done here is said, okay, I have in the DVD folder an extracted ISO image content. It is called this is the name of the DVD. It's called recovery. Remember that I have already named the DVD as recovery, so I need to select the DVD name, or I can press the name, or I can tell him number 1. Okay, so I tell him number 1 to choose the DVD, and then he will begin working with the DVD, or begin working with the ISO extracted content. Okay, I need to tell him to mount set up boot image and Windows recovery image. Anyway, we will mount, or we will begin. What we mean by mount here, we need to begin opening the DVD and begin playing with it. This is what we mean by mount the DVD. Anyway, so now we are mounting, or we are playing with the DVD. Now the DVD is open for editing for the program of MSMG. Let's see, after mounting the DVD, we need to begin tell him to what components we need to remove. So now it's mounting the image. Okay, now after that we need to begin telling him what components we need to remove. Okay, what components we need to remove. So let's wait and see. Okay, so he's now mounting the DVD, or preparing it for editing. Let's see, this is what I mean by mount. So now this is all done. We can wait for a moment until all this is finished. Okay, so let's wait more a little bit. Okay, again, and wait for a couple of seconds. Okay, again, let's, okay, now let's turn back a little bit. Okay, so the DVD was now, it's now ready for editing. So if we press any key to continue and then tell him to remove, we need to tell him number 3, and then we need to tell him to remove Windows components. From here we can play with the components of Windows. For example, in the Windows components we can remove the Cortana, which is, as I said before, it's not a great option. This it's not security, it is security hazard. We can remove the Windows Store. We can remove for example the Edge if you don't need it. So we tell him number 1 to remove certain Windows components, and then we will tell him to select Windows components. Here we can see all of the components of Windows categorized according to their function. So this is the internet components of Windows, and this is the multimedia components of Windows, and this is the network components of Windows operating system, privacy components of the Windows 11. By the way, privacy, we need to remove all the privacy setting, because this privacy setting it will be also a security hazard. We don't need our privacy data to be sent to Microsoft servers. We will see that one by one, so we can choose one by one. First of all, the first thing, the internet options or the internet components of Windows, you can tell him to remove Edge or Internet Explorer. How we can remove all components? Press A to remove components. Okay, to select components to be removed, press A. Okay, so if you need to select all components, press A. If you need to choose a certain component, press the number of the component, 1 or 2. So here we will not remove Internet Explorer or Edge. Okay, so we'll press X to go back and then choose number 2. Here you can choose what components to be removed. First, login animation. This is a little bit of a hideous thing, because when you log into the Windows by or you create a user account on Windows and you log in for the first time, there is an animation that will appear for you. It will take about 2 or 3 minutes playing, and then it will get you to your desktops. This is sometimes hideous, or people does not want to wait, so you can remove the first login animation from the Windows. Okay, so you can choose this, and you have Game Explorer. You can remove Game Explorer for Microsoft games. Speech recognition, Cortana, we need to remove Cortana. Okay, Windows Media Player, we will leave it. Windows Photo Viewer, we will leave it. Windows TIFF filter, this is something related to Windows, I think, images to view images, and Windows System Assessment Tool. So we can leave 1, 2, 3, 4. We can leave these 4 components and remove the other 3 components. Okay, because you do not need to have Cortana. But this will also, speech recognition will not let you give orders by sound to the Windows. Anyway, we can remove these 3 components. If you don't need to remove it, you can leave it. So you can press X. So you can choose whatever components you need to remove. So now you are literally playing with the components of the Windows, and this is before installation of the Windows itself. So this is a good thing to customize Windows before installation. Okay, so you can now choose what you need to do. So for example, you can remove first login animation. This can be done. So first I press A to select all of the components to be removed. So here I have selected all of these components to be removed by pressing A. And if I need some components to be left, then I need to press for example, if I press 8, 7 and 6, then that means that I do not need the 3 components to be removed. Okay, so now by pressing A, I am selecting all of them to be removed. Okay, if I am pressing the number of the component, then that means I need this component to be left. Okay, so let's wait and see how we can do this. So first, for example, I need to let Windows Media Player, Windows Photo Viewer, Windows TIFF filter, Windows Assessment Tool. So here I need to leave these 3 components or 4 components. I don't need to remove them. I need only to remove. So I am pressing 5 and 6 and 7 and 8. So this means that these 4 components will be left or will not be removed. The minus here means that these 3 components will be removed. Okay, so let's go to the network. You can choose what you like from the network to be removed. You can remove the Telnet client, the FTP client. Remember, this was the recommendations of the Department of Defense to remove the Telnet client and the TFTP client, because this is a security issue. Anyway, you can choose what you like to remove, and then I will not remove anything. I go to the privacy components of Windows. Now you can, for example, you need to remove the telemetry option. For example, the PIN sign-in support. So here I have chosen all of them. I need to remove all of them. So what I did here, let's go back again. So here I have go to the privacy components again, and then I tell him choose one, or by pressing 1, I'm telling him to remove all of these components. So what I am doing, we will remove picture password, location service, the GPS, okay, or the location service. I do not need my PC to be located using the location service, picture password, or to have a password on my PC using a picture. This is not recommended, and it's a very weak option. It's a weak security option. PIN, the PIN also, it's a weak security option to be established. For example, face recognition, I can remove the face recognition. Customer experience improvement program, if you do not need any data to be sent to Microsoft websites, you can also, if you are having something with a privacy issue. Anyway, so we remove all of these options related to the privacy. Windows Insider Hub, Windows error reporting, if it's sending data to a Microsoft website concerning errors. Anyway, so I will remove all of the privacy components, and I urge you all to do this. This is not good if you are concerned about the privacy of your data. Anyway, so we can remove it by pressing number 1, and then go to the remote components. If you need to remove something from the remote components, I need to remove OneDrive desktop client, so I don't need OneDrive to be installed, because this is not also a good thing. The Department of Defense said that we need to take care not to have OneDrive installed on our Windows operating system. So now I am just only telling him to remove. We will remove only OneDrive client and the remote assistant. We have discussed before why a remote assistant is not a good option to use, because this will allow any user to access your PC remotely, not within your network, from outside your network. And this is available for any user, not for the administrator, okay, or the local administrator of the machine. Anyway, so we have removed, we leave this 2 to be removed, and we will continue removing other components. Now we are going to the system components of Windows. You can, for example, we need to remove maybe I think all of these are good. We do not need to remove anything of them, so we will leave this. We will not remove any system components. All of these are good components we should use, so we will not remove anything from these components. Okay, this is a good thing. So we will tell him X and go back, because we need all of these components to be available in the Windows operating system. So we'll press X and go back, and then we will go to the system apps. Here we can see that there is a lot of things, about 44 system apps. We can, for example, remove Xbox console, Xbox capable, Xbox game capable UI. We can remove Cortana from here, Windows Store. So there's a lot of things you can remove here, and you do not need it, and will take space from the Windows 11 DVD and space from the system itself. Okay, so we can remove a lot of things from here. You can choose, for example, I need to remove Xbox components. We can remove Windows Store, we can remove Cortana. So you have here a lot of things to remove. You can choose from them. So we can tell him to select all by pressing A, and then choose one by one, or choose the components that will be or choose the components that will not be removed one by one. So it is simply to select all of the components once. So as you will remove all of them. So first you will choose the components by pressing A, or choose all of the components by pressing A to be removed, and then begin selecting what of these components will be left without removing by pressing the number of the components. Okay, so you can choose. I need only to remove the Windows Store, remove Cortana, and remove Xbox components. So these are the things I need to remove: Windows Store, Cortana, and Solitaire, or games of Windows that are accompanied with Windows or that are installed with Windows, like Solitaire and something like this. So you can choose what components to be removed. So here I will tell him I need only to remove Xbox console, champion or companion, and Xbox game cable, callable anyway. So we'll press X and turn back, and then go to the Windows apps. Here we can see that we can remove Xbox game bar, Xbox game bar identity, all of these components of Xbox should be removed. We can remove Cortana, okay, depends on speech recognition, so it will use the speech recognition component, so you need to remove the speech recognition component with the Cortana. We remove both. So here I have choose number 5 to remove the component, and then I need to remove for example the Xbox, all of the components of Xbox. So I'll press 36 and press enter, okay, A to choose all of them, and then I will begin choosing the components that will be left. So for example, I need the alarm and clock to be left, not to be removed. App installer, calculator apps, camera, we need to leave the camera. So here I press 10 to leave Google codecs to be not removed, high efficiency image to be left also. 13 to leave the media player, we need this component to be still in the Windows, should not remove it. And for example number 16, which is the notepad, we need to leave the notepad, not remove it. The paint, don't leave it or not remove it. And we can for example leave the photos Windows application. For example, this is number 26, the terminal, okay, to leave the terminal application in Windows. You can 31, you can leave the web media codec, okay, and then the web image codec. We can leave, here is the Windows App Store, so we need to choose, or we need to remove the Windows App Store. Okay, we have now finished all of the things. We need to tell him X, and then tell him another X, and then we need to tell him to save what we have done. So we need to save the changes, what we have done. We need to save it, and after saving it, we'll begin telling him to begin removing of the components. So we need to save what we have done, and then to begin removing the components that we have told him. And at the end, we'll export the DVD to a new ISO image. Okay, so let's see how we do this. We need to tell him first to go back, and then what we have done, start removing Windows components. So what you have done here, if you tell him go back again, so here we tell him X, and then we have selected the Windows components to be removed. Number 2, to start removing Windows components. So now he will begin removing the Windows components, and after that we need to export the DVD, okay, to an ISO extension after removing the components of Windows that we have tell him to do. So now he will begin removing the components one by one. Okay, so now he will begin removing the components one by one. When I was working, there was an error that appeared for me while removing one of the components of the Windows. Anyway, I don't think this will affect the whole process, but we will see later. Anyway, he's begin removing one component one by one, removing package. So he's removing all of the things. So he's removing all of the components. So after removing the components, we need to save the DVD with the new changes, or save the DVD after removing the components that we have specified, and then we need to export the DVD to be a new ISO image. Okay, so now he will begin removing all of the things, and then it will take a little bit of time. Okay, it will take a little bit of time. Okay, he will remove all of the things. Okay, we can pass this real quickly. So you begin removing, and then here we can see that there is an error that appeared while removing ping weather. We need to remove the ping weather. Here there is an error that appeared when we try to remove this component. Anyway, we will ignore it and tell him okay, and then at the end it have removed all the components from the extracted ISO image components, which is in a DVD folder. Okay, we need to save the things, or after removing the components we need to save the whole DVD. Okay, so we will save them. So first here will take a little bit of time. Okay, and then So now he finished remove Windows components. Tell him press any key to continue, and then we need to tell him to save the changes. So we'll tell him X, okay, and then we'll give another X. If you need to remove Windows components using package list, you can do this, but I don't need to do this anyway, so I will tell him X, and then we need to tell him to apply. We tell him number 5 to apply changes. Here you can customize other things. For example, you can customize the Windows features, but I will not use this one. So you need, after removing the components, tell him to apply the changes, okay, to apply the changes. Here we can see that you can also apply some tweaks to the Windows operating system from this option. You can tell him, for example, hide taskbar Cortana. So all of these will be applied also to your ISO image, okay. So you can choose any one of them. So here I will tell him to go back because I don't need any of these tweaks. For example, enable photo viewer. We have done this manually, so you can tell him to enable photo viewer through using this tweak. So there is tweaks you can apply to the Windows before the installation, okay. So we will tell him no, we need to go back. So we need to go back, tell him press 2 and go back, and then we need to tell him apply the changes, okay, number 5, okay. Here I'm choosing other things, okay. No, I don't need this, so I tell him X to go back, okay, and tell him to apply the changes. Here you say apply and save changes to source images. So this will save the changes that you have done to the DVD folder that contains the extracted image, okay. So this is it. Or I think he will export the image. So here start applying and saving images to source images. No, I think he will save it to the DVD image anyway. So you need to clean up the image folder. This will clean or will remove the ISO image anyway. I tell him no anyway. So this will apply the changes or will save the changes to the ISO image, okay, not to the ISO image, to the DVD folder. And then after that you need to export the contents of the DVD folder extracted to an ISO, okay. So here is saving the changes and mounting the image, and then after that you need to tell him to export the contents of the DVD folder. So now he is mounting, okay, you're doing all of these things, okay. We can kill him or go back. We'll continue. So at the end we need, after finishing all of this, we need to tell him to target or choose something called target to export the contents of the DVD folder to a new ISO image. Let's see how we can do this. So if you continue, so now we will open the program again. So I need to go and open the program again, sorry, again. So we need to open the program, start, and then so let's continue, guys. Here we need to export all what we have done. So we have changed the DVD or the original ISO image of Microsoft. We need to export what we have done to a new ISO image. So the new ISO image will contain, or it will contain an operating system with all the removed components that we have selected through this program. So we will tell him accept, and then we need to tell him target. So target will take all what we have done and export it to a new DVD. The new DVD will contain, so let's say him to target, we choose target, so we go again back, okay, tell him target, and then what we'll do, we tell him to make a DVD ISO image. So we have extracted the ISO image to a DVD folder, and then we need to take the extracted contents in the DVD folder and return it back to be an ISO image with the components that we have removed. So tell him number 1, and then he will begin making an ISO image of the DVD folder. We need to tell him to label the volume. So we'll tell him we need the new image to be Windows 11 Custom 2. This is the image. It will be 11 Custom 2 ISO image. So this is the name, the volume name, and then the name of the ISO. and then it will take a little bit of time to export the new editable or the new Windows 11 that contains the removed components, or that we have. So we'll have a Windows 11 new ISO image that will have Windows Store removed from it, Cortana removed from it, and other components that you have selected using the program. So it will take a little bit of time. We can use this to 17%. After finishing, we tell him press enter and go to the ISO folder within the program folder and see the new image. Okay, so tell him quit. Okay, and then we need to go to the folder and see the new ISO image for Windows 11. A new Windows 11 ISO image that doesn't contain Windows Store or Cortana or for example first login animation, a lot of things actually. So we'll go to the important CD images, and then we will go to the folder of the program, and then we will go to the ISO folder. Okay, to the ISO folder, we will see that there is another image, ISO image created. So you go to the ISO, we will have ISO custom 2. This is the original Windows 11 ISO image, and this is the customizable, or this is the new editable Windows 11 ISO image. So this contains the original Windows 11 DVD or ISO with all of its components, and this is another image of the Windows 11 but with some components removed. Okay, so this is how you can customize Windows 11 before installation through the program called MSMG. Hope this video is informative for you all. Do not forget to subscribe to the channel, share the videos, and if you need any question or anything, contact me through my Facebook channel, through my WhatsApp channel, through my Telegram channel. Thank you so much.